Okay, grace, peace, and blessings to one and all. Welcome to Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom Discourse. I am your host, your presenter, Brother Devon, and I have my awesome co host with me here, Sister Charmin. She's well dressed, to impress, always looking best.
Yes.
Welcome, Sister Charmin. Good evening.
Oh, wow. Good night, Brother Devon. I am good. I am good. A bit, well, not tired, but a bit,
Uh-huh.
but I am good. How are you
Okay.
doing?
I am tired.
You tired,
I'm
but not sleepy.
I'm good. Listen. I'm fighting asleep. Let me be honest. I'm
Oh,
fighting asleep.
gosh. Yes,
But
boy.
I'm here. I'm here, guys, because I want to
Yes,
show Sister Charmin that even though when we tired, even though when we tired and we know we have our work to perform,
yes,
we
yes.
going through. We're
Yeah,
going
nah, audience, I have a little secret to tell all don't tell Brother Devon, eh? All you ever see Brother Devon trying to fight a yawn is be like, watch him good, or sometimes, Brother Devon, I think we will see that performance again tonight. Or you make
I hope it a ducket. I
moves.
hope it a ducket. I, and the beautiful thing about it is, here's what, guys. Listen, when you're working for the Lord, when you're doing things in terms of ministry, you have to be able to go extra because we go extra when it comes to our schoolwork. You want to pass those studies, you want to excel so that you could get whatever you need to get in your life, whatever achievement you're trying to make. So, you put in that extra time with the studies. And when it comes to your job, oh gosh, sometimes the boss tell you to, spend a little extra time doing this and you're tired in your skin to social media, you're
Yes,
tired, but you're
yes,
giving the extra effort
yes,
because of what you and I think it's really important for us to recognize what we value, we will put extra effort in, even though we don't like it. So when
yes,
it comes to God, listen, I tired in my skin. And
yes.
other might my hiding a little yawn, and I do a little something like this, right? Otherwise, but I'm here to do our work and I'm doing it. I just feel discouraged, Sister Charmaine just give me encouragement. Sister Charmaine, she has really give me encouragement. And number one, my wife just give me real encouragement. Shout out to my
Yes,
darling
Lord.
wife.
Yes.
Um, you just feel discouraged. Sometimes you feel discouraged.
Mm,
But you still press on, and
yes.
we give thanks to God for everything, everybody that around, that faithful, and yeah, love to every. So love to you all. But we didn't come here to talk about me. We come
Yes.
here to talk about relationships. We are doing
Yes.
our part 2 this evening in
Yes.
terms of relationship dynamics, and we want to get into this aspect of prerequisites to relationships. That's what we're going to be looking at this evening. Sister Shaman, you want to say anything?
Yes, well, I am looking forward to this discussion because, Brother Devon, I'm telling you, I am wondering if we have a bucket list, if we have a list that we really pay attention to. So, the discussion will be quite interesting and informative. So, let's go.
Yeah, let's go, guys. It'll be interesting.
Mhm.
And we do want to invite persons to send in their messages. If you have a comment, you have a question you would like us to address, feel free to send your comment or your question while we carry this. It might run for an hour, it might run a little over, it might run a little under. Who knows? We'll see what happens, right? But your participation as the audience will really help us to determine where we go from that, right? So that said, let's get into our starter scripture. So I'll put up my share screen here. We'll be looking at the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, and our text is taken from verses 5 to verse 7. So let's read. Get wisdom, get understanding. Forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. but with all thy getting, get understanding. All right. So that's our major text for us this evening, and we'll be looking at the subject of wisdom and understanding. Okay, so I think I'm seeing some things here on our YouTube. I'm not feeling safe with what I'm seeing. So I'm going to make a move. Sister Charmaine, excuse me, everybody.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I think I know where this will be going. So let me see what I could do to minimize any kind of, you know, disrespectful uh comments and what have you. So try to block try to block any kind of negative stuff. Okay, right. So I've done my part there. Let's go forward with our topic. So we're talking about prerequisites to relationships, and what we're getting at here, we want to ask some questions, some very practical questions. The backdrop of our scripture is that you must get wisdom, you must get understanding. All right, do not forsake wisdom, do not forsake understanding. These things are important as one ventures into relationships, and we're talking about romantic relationships, right, guys? Husband and wife, not husband and husband, right? Boyfriend and girlfriend, not girlfriend and girlfriend, right? So we want to make sure we have our foundation set. So, Sister Shaman, I want to ask you this question.
Yeah.
When it comes to people in society, people will say they look for different things in a person. What have you heard? And if you want to speak about yourself, back then, what would be the things you would look for in a partner? What have you heard people say what you look for in a partner, and probably how that might have changed?
Okay, so I will speak generally, and it will encompass some of the, one or two of the things that I look for. First of all, I look for stability. Yes, stability in terms of what you say is what you really mean. Stability in terms of you do not project one lifestyle in terms of talking, you are this, you are that. And when you look for the actions, it is totally opposed to what you are saying. I don't know if you want me to go just one at a time or, and we'll talk on that. Yeah. So yes, so that's one of the major things that I look at. Stability in terms of what is your projection, your goals in terms of ambition, in terms of how, if it is you get into a relationship and we decide, well, to move forward, how will you support financially? How are you able to support mentally, emotionally? I also look at, this may sound strange, background, your background, where you came from. To me, that is really critical. I am not saying that someone may grow up in a scandalous, quote unquote, I don't mean it in a degrading manner, background, and that person may not be able to evolve from that. But sometimes people where they came from, sometimes they tend to remain there, and it tends to sometimes affect them in their relationship going forward. So I love to look at background in terms of parents, siblings, friends, well-wishers who you associate with. Because, I always am aware of this saying, show me your friends and I will show you who you are. Yes, and birds of a feather, they flock together. So I look at the friends that you hang out with. To me, that is real critical because you cannot be close knit. I am not talking about a passing acquaintance and you're nice and friendly with everybody. Your body partners, then you hang out with these people as though ring and finger and whatnot. And then there are some shady, they are shady then. To me, that speaks volumes of who a person is. So, Brother Devon, I could go on. I'll go on to some others, but I will just stop there because I know you have a plethora of, of what you look for in a person, some of the prerequisites.
Yeah? Before I even put in my 2 cents, I want to also find out, what have you heard other people say they look for in a partner? Where
Right.
I want to get a husband, I want to get a wife, I want to get a boyfriend and girlfriend. Yeah, go ahead.
Some of the main things, particularly, let's say, where the female concerned, make sure that man is gainfully employed, right? Because if it is that man is not gainfully employed, I mean, how are you moving forward? Now, to me, if they are real young, you need to look at that man's ambition because he may not be gainfully employed at a point in time if they are really young, particularly. But because of the ambition, you know that he or she will reach somewhere. So, you always hear, well, I always used to hear my parents and them saying, make sure the man has like a home or whatever, because you can have a bird and do not have a cage to put the bird in, so make sure. And young ladies, they look for that. I want a man who real could drop it, he real rich, he real, he could now sometimes, we could go on and be very vain and frivolous, at times. But look at the ambition of the individuals. You also hear them say, I mean, this could be also real peripheral. I want a real handsome dude. So when I walk, let everybody take a second look. Yes, and that's mine. So they look at the physical as well. And the physical, how sound that may be going forward, we could discuss that. So they look at the physical aspects as well. People also look at spiritual congruity in terms of if it is you of, say, a different religion or whatnot, and I am of, another one, that may cause problems. So you find people want to marry or they want to relate to somebody who is affiliated with their same religion, cultural background, and so forth and so on. So those are just some of the basic things. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I like that practicality aspect of how people look for the the physical features. Somebody looking good, as well as the financial part. Hopefully we'll touch on that tonight. If not tonight, probably another night. But those things are real things that people do look for. I find it interesting that quite a number of people on a practical basis, how we meet one another, men and women. You could be working at a place and a guy walks in. As a woman, right? A guy walks in, you working at this place, and he talks to you real nice, and you then take a liking to him. You don't know if the man working. You don't know, so many things you don't know. You don't know his background, etc. But a connection could be built there. You could say, have a nice day. And that just lights up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They call it vibes. I like the vibes, yeah.
I like the vibe.
Yeah.
So okay, for me now, when I was younger, are we talking about me being much younger, really, really younger? I just wanted a girl that was very pretty. That was it. I just wanted a girl that was very, very pretty.
Most guys, and most young guys, most.
Yeah. Like for the guys who gonna be fake, this mightn't connect with you. But for me, I'm going to be very honest. I wanted that girl that was pretty. That is all I wanted. And her beliefs and things didn't come in when I was much younger. When I say much younger, I really mean much younger. And my view of her is that she would be, this could be surprising, like in this kind of like glass case, like a ballerina, you know them ballerina with a spin, and that I wouldn't even touch her, and nobody would touch her. She would just be in this glass thing, because as a young, very very young boy, yeah,
You're
young,
talking about Brother Devon, about 8, 10 years, 8 year old, 10-year-old.
about 12, 13, 12, 13, I think.
Okay, okay.
That is really really young, because even in terms of getting married, things like that, it enter your mind but it fly out. There's a lot of things that wasn't there, but as I grew older from that phase, I started to want some more things. She must be a decent person, but I think I was very naive. I think I was very very naive, because I thought, if I treat a woman good, I'll be straight with you. I'll be faithful and thing. Then you will be like that. And I got a rude awakening. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. I really thought, I treat you nice and thing, and everything may be good. I wasn't much up on background, finances, family. I wasn't much up on too much of that. Those were kind of like passing in and out. I just wanted somebody that I could connect with, and yeah, that was it. But as I grew, I started to add different things to what I would want in a partner. Now, as that said, I want to move on to the second part. But before we move on to the second part, quite a number of people we know look at the height of an individual. So you want somebody this tall or this short. You want somebody with a certain weight, a certain size. So there are guys who like really slim girls, and then there are guys who like thicker girls. That's just the reality. I want real meat, right? I want real meat, right? Me, I want all that right. Give me some meat. And the same thing applies for some of the women. There are women who like the tall. Well, I think like the majority of women tend to say, I want a tall man. I want a man taller than me. I can look up to him. That kind of. I quite a number of them, they want the bodybuilder. All our bodies is a Chavez. So I don't know. Have you heard anything like that in terms of women express that kind of view?
Yes, yes, all the time, all the time. Tall, dark, and handsome. Yes. Could lift them up, could sweep them off of their feet. Yeah, that's yes, all the time. Yeah. But when you get a rude awakening, you realize, wow, boy, I have to reconsider. So I think different phases in one's life, these attributes begin to change. Yeah, yeah.
So, guys, for those who are watching, we are continuing with our series entitled Relationship Dynamics. And today's second part is treating with some prerequisites to relationships. We just touched on what the average person looks for in a partner, and we touched a little bit on the different phases of one's life. You may have an initial view on something, and now we are getting into this part of what's important. What's really important, Sister Charmaine, when it comes to checking out someone who could be your partner, someone you could enter a relationship. What do you view as being, this is the important thing? I know these people look for, I have looked for myself, but these are the real important things. As I asked Sister Charmaine that question, you all are invited to give your thoughts, ask your questions. Sister Charmaine?
Well, as I said before, I will stick with the stability of the individual. I am talking about stability in every aspect of the individual life. If it is, you say, for instance, you are a believer or, I don't expect you to be fluctuating and to be saying one thing and then doing another thing. Stability in terms of, look, we have to work, you need to be ambitious, we have to, we need money in order to finance whatever, in our lives together. If we so decide to move forward, must be of similar faith, because that could pose real issues. Yeah, and really and truly you look for somebody. I want to say financially sound, but again, I will use the word, this person must have ambition and not be lazy. You see laziness in a man is a turn off, I think, to most women. Maybe not all, but that is a literal turn off. Even if you do not have a job, listen, do something, do all the housework, and okay, let me go and work until you get a job, so to speak. So you need somebody who is not lazy, who will do anything then to to make ends meet then. Yes, so yeah. So those are
well, let's delve further into those areas. We see Sister Laz joining us. Good night to you, Sister Laz, as well as your family. Let's touch on those things. You talked about the finances. You talked about stability, same beliefs, and if the beliefs are not the same, that could be an issue. Let's delve deeper into that one for the moment. Why would that be an issue? If there's different beliefs, and when you say different beliefs, what do you mean by different beliefs? Do you mean different denominational beliefs? And as we touch on that, we are talking for the saints, for the fellow believers, to say that, clarify that religion, the difference between religions would be Christianity is one religion. I know people fight that, Christians fight that, but it is what it is. It is identified as a religion. Islam is a religion by itself. Hinduism is a religion by itself. And then you have factions within each one of those examples, which would be, for us in Christianity, denominations or sects. So within Christianity, you have the Catholic, you have the Pentecostal, you have the Baptist, you have the Anglican, etc. Right? So when you say, Sister Charmaine, for our audience, for all of us here, different beliefs, and that being an issue, please, share with us even more as to what different beliefs you are referring to and what issues you could see arising in this whole thing. Sister Charmaine?
Well, yes. So first of all, let me be very emphatic. So clearly, if it is that I am a Christian and somebody else is, let's say, Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, whatever, clearly that wouldn't work. From the foundation, that wouldn't work. However, I will take that even a little deeper. Even within the Christendom, you talk about Baptist, Catholic, Anglican, whatever. Even in terms of that as well may not work. Some people probably they are mature and they will allow it to work. But I could see it having, issues. I could even get even more granular with that in terms of even in the same church, in the same house you're attending, and you may see two persons that may not even be the particular match for you. So we even have to be so specific. Yeah, we may be going to church together every Sunday or whatnot, but it doesn't mean to say that we mesh. Yeah, there are other things that you need to look at, because you may be of a particular further down in the spiritual spectrum than the other person. Nothing is wrong with that. And if it is, you have what it takes, the patience and whatnot to work with the weaker party, all well and good. But there are times where you look for somebody that is more or less on your particular level. And if it is, let's say you are the one who is of the weaker faith, and you're humble and you're willing to grow, Well, yes, that could work, but normally sometimes that could cause bickering, where a babe and somebody because the babe may not understand certain things that the stronger believer may want to do what God is telling them, and that could cause a lot of friction. And plus personality, because you're going to the same church, you may have different personalities altogether. So it doesn't mean to say that, okay, we go in same church and that could work. No. So the basic thing is, look, you got to seek God, and you got to really have that, you got to really examine and know what you want and get that peace within your heart that, look, I'll move forward with this person. That doesn't say that there wouldn't be issues and problems, but you all will have that understanding. If an issue arise, you all know how to deal with it in a mature manner. You see, maturity is another big thing for me, maturity, because when an individual is immature, it's horrible. It's horrible, yeah, because you want to resolve the thing, and the immaturity on the other person have that person all over the place and causing real conflict, and as we say, quote unquote, bacchanal. So maturity is very critical in any relationship. Yes,
I agree, Sister Charmaine. I think maturity is a fundamental aspect for those both parties, and I think it's very interesting as you identified and you did a fair assessment that not only when you look at Christian and a Hindu, a Muslim, a Buddhist, and atheist, which don't make sense, but whatever, coming together, that could be very problematic, which is just different religions. But even within Christianity itself, you have different denominations, and people could be at conflict, even in your own church, even if people go into your own church. I think those are some notable points you raised. So looking at that, we could even see that there's a possibility for someone to, and I want to hear your thoughts on this, that you could be, let's say you're a Baptist, and you can't find someone, all this in quotation, you can't find someone that is compatible for you in your Baptist belief in the churches you attend. But you can find someone, let's say in a Pentecostal church that is compatible for you and that you could build on that. What's your thoughts on that?
You mean like somebody, let's say, from a Seventh-day church and a Baptist church?
Yeah, two different churches, yeah.
Two different churches. Well, according to how diverse and different the religious is, because, okay, for instance, within the 7 days, Adventist church, we know that Saturday is a particular day for them, right? We don't have to go into details. Whereas now in the Baptist faith, or, Pentecostal, that, is a non-issue concerning the day, right? That, we worship. However, again, if it is two persons, right, feel that they have that maturity and they have to discuss this beforehand, that I will not obstruct you, you could keep the Sabbath, and the person who is the Sabbath keeper agrees that, okay, I respect your views, that, you don't keep the Sabbath. And they got to be sure and be honest with each other that that will not pose a problem. If so, well then, go ahead. But we always have to bear in mind what the Bible talks about being unequally yoked. So there are different issues, to that. Yeah, so that's something that is really technical, because we know in the church, Brother Devon, that you could hardly find we call it marriage material man. you may more find a woman who is marriage material, but to find a man, it is far and wide. And I am just being practical. I'm not saying impossible. I am just being practical. Yeah. So hence the reason why sometimes ladies may want to compromise and go, outside that religion. But we have to be sort of wary about that and very particular about it.
So,
Yeah.
Sister Shaman, I'm going down the rabbit hole, I going because that is a point that we need to discuss.
Mm.
Um, how how is it that there's not marriage material, or it's not seen as much where men are concerned, you know, in the church? How is it so? Why is it so? What are the women seeing about the men? And this is a great opportunity as we talk about this subject for men to become aware of where we may be failing. Now, I'm a supporter. Everybody already know I support the brothers. I don't like to throw the brothers under the bus at all, right?
No, it's all at
But
all, at all.
it's important that we hear certain things to check up on ourselves, right? I hear real stories on real things with some brothers. I'm not somebody to bash anybody, right? So we safety, but we want to at least see where we could do better, because I myself had to learn different things to do better. I think this is a good point. What are the things that women would have seen to say that, or to have the view that there is not really good marriage material in the church, and where are they going? What are the men they are going behind? Or where are the places they look for men? How are they compromising? Go ahead, Sister Shamin.
Well, first of all, when we say they are few and wide, meaning that most churches, not all, most churches, there are more females than males in the first place. Secondly, if you were to find, a substantial number of males, they are all paired up already, because they grabbed them before they could they could fly loose out there. Yeah. If it is you were to find one that is single, it may be, oh boy, and this is not to put down, that's not what I'm seeing. Do not, yeah, that's not. Yeah, it may be that they're not employed. The points that I brought up before, they're not ambitious. They keep themselves not in a proper hygienic manner. They just there. And women are not attracted to that. Sometimes they're not even forthcoming, they're just there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that the brothers don't love the Lord. So women look at these things because you want upward mobility. Yeah. So I mean, I don't want to say that it don't offend any brother.
You go, Sister Shamin. We strong. We back broad. Take it. Go ahead.
They dress simple things. They dress all how, you know what I mean? You could have two suits and you could, or shirts and, trousers. And you could wash and iron that and look sharp every time. But they dress, they couldn't be bothered about their overall appearance, about their hygiene, these different things. And they're not kind sometimes towards the women. So women sometimes say, boy, the men in the world treat them better than the men in the church. So these are these are some real things. Yes, it may be said behind closed doors, but these are some real issues and challenges that we face.
And I thank you, Sister Shamin, for sharing, because we have to, how we're going to deal with a problem if we don't be practical, we don't be honest. When one goes to the hospital, folks, and you speak to the doctor, lying to the doctor is not going to help you, right? Painting a pretty picture to the doctor is not going to help you. You have to tell the doctor the truth of what is going on, what the problem is, so that a solution may be, found out to deal with the issue. So when it comes to the church, I find like several of us as believers, we don't want to have these very honest conversations as Sister Shaman is sharing and I'm
Yeah.
discussing here. We need to have these things because we're talking about it behind closed doors. And the door closed. Right? There's a reason why the door closed and nothing is happening. So we need to have these conversations where we talk about these issues. Listen, it have some guys smell funky. I can say that. I can say I don't think I'm allowed to say. I can say that. Right? These are some fellas. I smelled somebody yesterday and it was like, whoa! When that person passed, I was like, whoa! I can't give no more details than that. And this was a man, a full man dressed properly. I can say it like that. A full man dressed properly. And when he passed, I almost passed out. So it's really we need to talk about it, right? And I will say some brothers listen to what the women say because we could step up our game. I will tell you, as a guy growing up, when I reached a certain age, Sister Charmaine, I didn't too much care about what people thought about how I dress. As a child in school, you're going to school, you're on pips, you must dress a certain way, be in the in crowd. But when I came out into the world and started to work, I realized, hey, at the end of the day, nobody paying my rent. Nobody are buying any food for me. You're not giving me anything free. So I didn't really care. I dressed how I felt and so on. But I didn't recognize that that was a deterrent. When my wife had that, she had a situation with me because she started to implement certain things. She started to introduce, let me say it like this, introduce certain things to me in terms of dress. And I get vexed, Sister Shaman. I get vexed. I'm like, but I just like this for years. This is how you meet me. And she started to introduce some new things to me that I was like, get. I was like, get. But eventually we started to work together. We made
Yeah.
adjustments. I didn't make any compromise. I made
Yeah.
adjustments and we work towards improving my dress. You
Yes.
understand? I got a little style, a little swag.
Right.
I got a little swag. I ain't reach your level yet because this is Sister Laz said, Sister Charmaine, you looking pretty.
Thank you, Sister Lal, for your gracious, kind words. Thank you.
She said that a while now. She said that.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it's important that we look at these things for relationships. We have some guys they want to know how they can't link up with a sister, and there are many sisters out there who looking for a guy. They're looking for a husband, and bro, you might not be doing certain things. You might need to just work on the I don't want to be insulting at all with everything I'm saying. You might need to work on the body stuff. Your little roll on, your little spray,
Hygiene.
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 You might have to step up your hygiene. You might be
Mm.
thinking to yourself, brother or sister, because Sister Charmaine, I'm telling you this, and I'm telling everybody this. Not only brothers need to check their hygiene.
Yeah.
I have smelled, sister. I have in the church, and I feel so bad. Sister Shamin, how do I tell this sister that looks so good? Physically, like when you look at her, it's like, wow, she looks amazing. But then when you come near her, you're like, whoa, that's amazing. So
Yeah.
while people watch and listen, know the defense,
Yes, both sides, both
both
sides.
sides.
Yes,
So
yes,
sisters, ladies, don't think because we're talking about the men, it do apply to you. It do.
yes, it's across the board.
Yeah, it across the social media. It surprised me to hear about women even in women's bathroom. Sometimes I've heard women talk about they go to women's bathrooms in the mall or what have you, and it's disgusting.
How they keep it, you mean how they keep the washroom?
Yep.
Yes, it's really sad. No, it's really, really, really sad.
I've
I
heard about women
wonder.
coming from Sister Shaman, going from the women's bathroom, going into the women's bathroom in certain
Going
places.
to the
See,
gents.
and go, you know it, Sister
Yes, but
Shaman.
it happens all. And listen, it amazed me. It amazed me, but it's a reality. I don't know if we still teach these things in school. I really don't know. But it's simple, basic things, simple things.
Yep, these things need to keep going. They need to keep going.
Yeah,
There are some nasty guys, but there are some
yes,
nasty women too.
yes. And Brother Devon, even when you get married, you need to keep up your hygiene. We need to clean the air. We need to, just a little extra care. Come on, if you really care about the other person. Yeah?
Yep, yep, yep. To go a little extra. Go a little extra. You know? So we talked about things such as different beliefs in terms of you choosing a partner and that partner being of even the same faith ultimately, which is Christianity, but belonging to a different group or even the same group. And conflicts could arise. That might not be somebody that is compatible to you. But Sister Shaman, let's now shift to the area of the finances. I think we look like we only have a few minutes, but we'll use our minutes here in this. We'll have to have a follow-up to this prerequisites to relationships. We have to have a follow-up. But let's talk about the financial aspect. Sister Shaman, you hit on it before, but I'm still going to ask the question, right? So don't vex with me. The person have to have money. If you have to, if I'm looking for somebody and that person now, I meet somebody that doesn't have this and that. I know you already answered, but still hammering it in. Does the person have to have money? And if so, how much money? If the person have to have money, how much money this person have to have?
Brother Devon, having money will be a plus. However, to me, the ambition of the person is more important than even money, because you can have money and be still lousy. You can have money and you're still not a good provider. You can have money and doing whatever with it. You're not putting it to the proper use to advance the home or to advance the family. You could be squandering it or hoarding it or whatever. So having money is not just all, it is a plus if you know how to be generous, you know how to take care of your family. But a person who is ambitious, Brother Devon, I could see an individual working with such a person, because that person will never stay down and not get a job. That person will not be, as we said, lazy. That person will always be doing something. And a mature individual will look at all these aspects. Look, you see that brother? Nah, boy, you see, he always looking to do something. And where there's a will, there's a way. Some door must open up. So you don't always have, and then you ask the question about how much money. You don't have to be wealthy. I mean, if you're wealthy, the more the merrier. But no, you don't have to be wealthy, because it's not everybody that wealthy. Yeah. But at least you want to see them talking about things like owning my own home, not renting. If you have to rent in the beginning, okay, sometimes we all go through that. But you have to look at these things that the person really want to own their own. They want to buy a piece of land, that's the first thing. You want to get a little vehicle so you could move around, easily with your family and all that. So, Brother Devon, it really doesn't have to be that you have to be wealthy. It's the ambition of the person that is, to me, most critical. Yeah.
I like that. I'm gonna choke the fire a little more.
Fan the flames here.
Let me fan those flames. So is this only for the guy? What about the woman, Sister Shaman? We in 2022. 2022, Sister Charmaine. What was, listen,
Wow.
listen. Go ahead. Talk.
Do you know the dynamics literally have changed? You hear men, brothers saying, no, you see me, I don't want a woman who ain't working nowhere, who does not have any money. I am serious, you know, they can't help me out. If I fall short here, she's looking at me with a blank face. Listen, this has changed tremendously, you know. Men do not want women who cannot help and assist in the home anymore because the way how the world is going, you know, the man may end up losing his job and then what? There is nothing to fall back on if you don't have, you know, if you didn't come from a rich background, so forth and so on. So yes, the men also look for women who could handle themselves, who, you know, are gainfully employed and they know that any situation, look, I could always rely on, you know, my girlfriend, boyfriend, my wife, husband. Yes, so the dynamics have changed.
I want to ask this question though. What do you think if a guy he meets a girl and she's a nice person and everything like that? She might be same belief, he's clicking with her, but he gets to find out because he probably meet her in the park, right? He gets to find out that she not working, and he said, "Nah, that don't make sense. I not rolling with you." So what's your thoughts on that kind of approach by a guy?
Wow, I find, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And he is working?
He working. He
Nah,
working. We continue to Sasha because we're continuing with the reality of okay, in this time, in this day and age, as you rightly said, quite a lot of men say, listen, you all want standards as women, you all want certain standards from us. You all want us to do this, do that, do the next. In terms of not just working out there, but you want us in the home doing a lot of the things in the home. And we live in a time where things gone up and it nothing is coming down. Everybody stop expecting things to come down. They're not coming down. All right. Wherever you paying for now, if it existed 100 years ago, 50 years ago, it's not the same price. So stop dreaming of things coming up. It's not. Things going to continue to go up. All right. So let me come off of that side back. Coming back. So with that guy now saying, hey, this is a team effort. Two of us have to be working. I'm not going to go for you, even though you're pretty, even though you're is a nice conversationalist, even though we have the same faith, even though you know you seem to be a nice person. I'm not going with you. You don't have a job. What do you think about that,
well,
Sister Sham?
okay. I want to throw back that question to you as a male. Would you do something like that?
No, me personally, I
Mm.
wouldn't do that because, like, for me, my foundation is this. I believe as a man, me, I'm not putting this on anybody else, but as for me, I need to be the sole person providing for the home. That said, my wife should not have to work. Now, we could start in that kind of scenario because many people start in different types of situations. We may start in that situation, but if my wife wants to eventually, and I'll even draw back a little bit, like imagine I'm courting someone and the person saying, listen, I'm working now, but I don't plan to always be working. I plan eventually to not be working, to be a stay-at-home wife and mother. If you say that to me, I would be like, okay, cool. We could start together working and you want to stay home, cool, no problem. We could make plans towards that. That said, the plans that we make need to be realistic. So not to expect me to be working and I working at whatever job or plan to, grow myself, which I'm always looking to grow myself. Um, don't expect for us to be doing things beyond our means. When it comes to that place where I am the sole provider for the home. because you have to be practical. And I don't want to be, looking to felt out a set of money and I'll always be in debt, always have us in debt. I would like to come out of debt. I hate that. I experienced that many times and I totally despise that. Debt. So that would be my position. But I know there are guys who, when they say, or if they ask their partner, the person they are courting, they are getting to know, they ask them, what you plan to do if you're working? And they say, well, I'm working now, I plan not to be working now. Why? Some fellas like, I'm not with that. You need to be working. So, yeah. So, as I've given the answer, what's your thoughts now?
Yeah, well, that's it. I find as the man, you're supposed to know that ultimately it's your responsibility to provide. I am not saying that the lady or the young lady, shouldn't work and shouldn't support the home and whatnot, but I think that's a kind of cop out, and we need to look at that in society right now. If it is the lady's not working, but she may have other beautiful qualities. She may be home but planting a little kitchen garden, doing other little things to help out. Yeah, she's home cooking food, seeing about the children, making a little a sweet bread to sell. You understand? So you have to look beyond just, oh, she ain't working. That is like pushing it too far. I think as men, we need to look at the quality of the woman. She may be a real decent person who will never be unfaithful to you. You may get one who is working and on the job, she has a deputy. You know what I am saying? So, so we need to look beyond just the dollars and cents. Yes? So that's my take on it, Brother Devon. Brother Devon.
Mrs. Shaman, I don't know if the foreigners, if they know what a deputy is.
Oh dear, well, BYU, you explain what a deputy is. A side chick. I want to do a side chick.
For those who might be from another country and not familiar with our terminology, a deputy is a helping hand, somebody outside of the relationship, servicing your.
Okay, for those foreigners, a mistress. Yeah?
Or a mister.
Or Mr. Yeah.
So, yeah. That said, Mr. Shamil, we have reached the marker. We have reached our time stamp. So we have to wrap up at this juncture, and we have to continue this conversation on the prerequisites for to relationship. The conversation is going really good. We have more things we need to touch on. There are some things you had mentioned that I think we need to delve further into and open up this entire discourse. Okay, Sister Shannon. That said, I do want to Atkins was wait. Atkins was here. Atkins here already. Well, Atkins, thank you for being here. Greetings to you. Happy New Year. I didn't know you was here, but we only run for about an hour. Atkins, and for everyone else, we only run for about an hour. I'm trying to maintain a little headache, trying to come on, so you all forgive me.
Oh my.
So I try to juggle. So many different things. So hopefully, guys, you all will be amped, and you all will check us out next week, please God, for our continuation on this topic. That said, I do want to give a plug in for my upcoming book. So I'll be releasing my project next month, God providing everything works out. So I am working feverishly with my editor and my darling wife to get this book out in February. I'm not giving the name as yet. I'm not giving the name right now, but you all look out for that. So this is my plug-in. Keep locked. Put aside a little dinero. Support. That's cash. That's money, right? So cash. Put aside a little cash so that you can support all of this that we do here. Akin said you need 90 minutes We want more. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Thanks very much, Atkins, for the support. Yeah, we appreciate that. We appreciate 90 minutes.
Sorry that he came on so late, yeah, because
Yeah.
I think he would have contributed.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and guys, you all feel free to give your contributions, raise comments, questions, and we have our dialogue. We want you all to be a part of this whole thing. You know what I mean? We do this for the building of the believers. For those who are non-believers, if you are an atheist, a Muslim, a Hindu, yeah, you're welcome here. You know, yes, you're welcome here to come and talk with us. You can ask your questions about Christianity. We can share that none of this is an attack, even though we use different examples. Nobody is trying to attack anyone. All we are trying to do is to build people to know Christ and to know different things on a practical level in respect to relationships. All right. So love to you all. Oh, Akin said, big up you and your whole book. Thank you very much. Big up me and my whole book. This is not kingdom principles, you know. No, it's not kingdom principles. We are knowledge, understanding, and wisdom discourse, but we have that discourse here. Great conversation. So, Sister Charmaine, I want to give you your space to give your closing words.
Yes, well, Brother Devon, I must say that, this course was very interesting, very practical. Sometimes I think in the body of Christ, we kind of stay away from the practical things in life, things that people talking behind the scenes. And we need to have forums that people could be free to respectfully discuss and see if it is we could come up with whatever amicable, solutions. So I trust that those who are watching and who may watch, after we come off air, it would have benefited in some way. So until next week, please God, I say adios, have a blessed night and a blessed Sunday. Blessed week ahead. Bye.
Amen. Bye-bye, folks. You all have